We often hear that talking to yourself is the best way to learn to speak English. But if it's not in your head, it won't come out no matter how you try. So, I'm going to fill it up until it does. This house is always so messy. I can't keep up with it. Why do I always have to be the one to do the dishes? My kids never put their things away. I'm constantly picking up after them. I'm so busy with work and family. I never have time for myself. I wish I had a more organized life. Reading practice. For speaking. Read silently or aloud, as if you were telling it to someone else. Audio will be without repetition, with a brief pause between each chunk or sentence. Messy. Mama's Mutters.
Ugh, I just can't deal with this anymore. This house is always so messy. I can't keep up with it. Every time I turn around, there's something else that needs to be cleaned. Why do I always have to be the one to do the dishes? My kids never put their things away. I'm constantly picking up after them. And it's not just the kids. Even my husband leaves his stuff everywhere. I'm so busy with work and family. I never have time for myself. When was the last time I actually sat down and read a book? I can't even remember. I wish I had a more organized life. Maybe I need to set some new rules around here. Everyone should pitch in more. Everyone should help out more. But then, I feel guilty for even thinking that. They're busy too. Still, something has to change. Maybe this weekend I can tackle some of the clutter. A clean house would make me feel so much better. One step at a time, I guess.
I stand in the middle of our living room. Surrounded by toys scattered everywhere. Clothes piled high on the sofa. And dishes overflowing in the sink. This house is always so messy. I can't keep up with it. I mutter to myself. Feeling a wave of frustration wash over me. Why do I always have to be the one to do the dishes? It's not fair. That I'm the only one who seems to notice the chaos. I sigh, looking at the clock. It is already late. And I have to be up early for work tomorrow. My kids never put their things away. I'm constantly picking up after them. It feels like I'm on a never-ending cycle of cleaning and organizing. With no end in sight. I wish I had a more organized life. One where I could come home and relax. Instead of immediately diving into household chores. But with work and family responsibilities, I never have time for myself. It's a constant juggle. It's always a challenge to balance everything. It's a constant struggle to balance everything. It's always a balancing act. And I'm starting to feel the weight of it all. As I begin to gather the dishes. And start the night's cleaning routine. I couldn't help but wonder if there was a better way. A way to find balance. And maybe, just maybe, a little bit of time for myself. But for now, I push those thoughts aside. And focus on the task at hand. Hoping that tomorrow might bring a little bit more order to our chaotic lives.
As I stand in the kitchen, staring at the piled-up dishes and scattered toys, a deep sigh escapes my lips. This place is always a mess. I can never seem to get ahead of the tidying. Why am I always the one stuck with dish duty? My kids never put anything away. I'm constantly cleaning up their messes. I try to push the frustration aside. And focus on the task at hand. Washing the dishes, one by one. My mind wanders to the endless to-do list. That seems to grow by the day. I'm so swamped with work and the kids. I never have any time for myself. I wish I could get my life more organized. Glancing out the window, I watch as the sun begins to set. Casting a warm glow over the neighborhood.
glow.
I watch as the sun starts to go down. Painting the neighborhood in a cozy light. I see the sun start to go down. Making the neighborhood look warm. I see the sun starting to go down. Spreading a warm light across the neighborhood. I look at the sun going down. Making the area around look warm. The sun is lowering in the sky. The sun is descending on the horizon. The sun is shining a warm light over the neighborhood. The sun is giving a warm glow to the neighborhood. In the midst of the chaos, I can't help but feel a sense of gratitude for the life I've built. This may not be the picture-perfect home I had envisioned. But it's filled with the laughter and love of my family. As I dry the last dish, I make a mental note. I make a note in my mind. I remember. I remind myself. To have a conversation with the kids about keeping their spaces tidy. Perhaps we can establish a new system. Perhaps we can create a new system. Perhaps we can set up a new system. One that will ease the burden. And bring a little more order to our daily routine. With a renewed sense of determination, I set out to tackle the next task on my list. Knowing that with a little patience and creativity, I can find a way to create the organized life I so desperately crave.
From the review vocabulary list, remove the words used this time.